Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to IST, Indian Startup Times. We are really excited to have you all here today, and we are looking forward to an insightful conversation around your vision, your journey, and road ahead. So, today's topic is From Bharat to Global Building a Search Company Beyond Metros. So, firstly, I would like to introduce myself. Hi, I am Vanshika Tayal, sub editor at Indian Startup Times. And at IST, we focus on bringing forward powerful stories from founders' journey and deep insights from a rapidly evolving ecosystem. Joining me today is Mr. Ramesh Chandra, co-founder at Indian Startup Times, who has been instrumental in building this platform into a voice for emerging innovation and impactful storytelling. And now coming to our incredible guests for today, we have three amazing leaders from Source. Source is an AI-powered search intelligence platform helping brands stay visible in a fast changing AI driven discovery ecosystem. So, joining us is Mr. Sudhir Vashisht, founder of Source, with over 20 years of experience in SEO and digital strategy, known for building scalable data driven growth engine. We also have Mr. Anurag Kamboj, tech lead at Source, a strong full stack engineer focused on search architect, AI system, and scalable content technologies. And Mr. Kulraj Singh Sambarwal, leading product and strategy at Source, working on enhancing brand visibility across AI platforms and digital discovery. A very warm welcome to all of you, and really excited to have you all here and looking forward to a great conversation today. So let's start with Sudhir sir first. I would like to begin with you, taking you back to the early days of Source. What inspired you to build this platform and what gap were you aiming to solve?
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much, Vanshika and Rameshji, for setting this up. Really excited to talk to you guys and through you guys to a lot of other people as well about Source and about our journey and how we are sort of building the product and trying to scale. What was the problem statement and what made us sort of decide on Source and its capabilities was a clear gap between the knowledge which is available with all the SEO experts. So and the final implementation that happens when it comes to implementing that knowledge, there was a huge gap between these two. Now, if you speak to if you ever speak to an SEO expert, a manager, or maybe somebody who's heading the SEO for a business, they would know a lot, know much more than what we know as well, and they get into technical details and specifics of things. But when it comes to actual implementation of those details on projects, on websites, on portals, etc., that implementation versus the knowledge, there is a huge gap, and this gap could be because of multiple reasons. Now, this could be lack of a real project management tool for SEO, which does not exist today, lack of transferring that knowledge into spreadsheets, excels, or documents. Maybe it could lack during translation from one team to another, or eventually it could be lack of resources as well. What we are trying to do here is we are trying to sort of bring in the best practices of SEO, the best use cases of SEO, and putting that into a system which is highly monitored by AI, which runs at the hindsight in our system, monitored by AI, and ensures that the best practices are standardized and implemented across various scales and sizes of websites. So I think the biggest gap that we saw was when I spoke to multiple SEO experts and then spoke to some of the founders in terms of what is it that they see as a problem statement when you speak about SEO. There are tons of tools available already, and every SEO uses multiple tools today, at least bare minimum four tools, different tools. What we are trying to do is we are trying to bring in everything together in one place and ensuring that the standard practices of implementation are followed seamlessly.
Absolutely, that's really interesting. Building on that, I would love to bring Mr. Anurag into the conversation because while the vision is clear, the technology behind it is also very important. So, Mr. Anurag, from a tech perspective, how are you actually bringing this AI native vision of Source to life?
Yes. So earlier, as we all know, internet has not been very new. But earlier, what used to happen was, as Google started, everyone was trying to get on Google, build a website, and try to rank into the blue links. That is something we call onto Google. But as the search visibility or discoverability is growing, these days, everyone is moving towards GEO, generative engine optimization, where they don't just want to rank on Google, but also on Google AI overview, which comes at the top for informational based queries. And alongside that, also on all the AI platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. But how do you do that? You need to have a lot of thinking behind it around AI, how AI is perceiving your content, and how your tool or the tool you're trying to use to do that, your AI optimization or generative engine optimization, how is that moving on? So moving on that, we have built that around into our application where we focus heavily on how your content or how your website or your business would be seen by any of these AI agents or any of these AI platforms, all of them end to end. And then also keeping Google search into the mind, meaning that we are AI first and then moving towards rest of the search visibility as well. And in that case, we're trying to solve you or helping you to rank on AI first and then on rest of the other things as well alongside, not missing anything.
That's a great way to break it down now. And it naturally brings me to product and strategy side. So, Mr. Kulraj, when you are building something this advanced from outside traditional hub, how do you ensure that the product not only works but completes at a global level?
Okay. So again, from the very beginning, we have only targeted global standards, even at source, and like the only right thing that any startup needs to do is to stay closer to their users. And you can be sitting in Varanasi, and you can be talking to the people in New York. You can be building or competing with global competitors. It's really not a very difficult thing to mark standards to the global level. And again, we are very user obsessed from the very beginning. The assumption was that we will not build anything out of our own thinking or our own suggestions. We'll stay closer to the user. We'll keep the user looped in. We'll take maximum feedback, maximum iterations will be done. And I think that is the only way to make a product which can be for the global audience. And again, yeah. If prior to this, I have experience of building a content automation platform along with Anurag. So, like, we understand how important it is to just stay closer to the user, just keep the feedback loop intact, and not rely on any assumptions, and be open to the market, how the market signals, what the market feedbacks. Think that is the only thing which will help any company, any startup to like reach at a global standard.
Sudhir, I have a question for you. So before starting Source, definitely you would have spoken or have discussed with lot many experts, as you rightly said in the beginning. So ideally, how much time it took you to start Source? And before the starting the company, the discussions and everything that you did, and also how important is a team for any startup like this to grow further? And of course, in a very lesser time, to reach a milestone where you would be happy about it, you're definitely you're doing something and making a change. So yeah, please.
Sure. Interesting question. So I think the starting point for Source was when I saw a clear gap between what was being said and what was being implemented. And this gap came about by speaking to multiple D2C founders and some of the brands that we sort of adore these days. I spoke to the founders back when they were building or they were at a stage where they were quite early in their businesses as well. There was a clear playbook which was created for D2C businesses, which was to sort of sign up for Shopify, set up meta ads, and you're good to start. Now, starting was interesting, and once everybody started spending money, started to get some customers as well, some traction as well. This is where people started to look at other opportunities of traffic, which was cheaper or free for that matter, and which was scalable as well. Now, there were only two opportunities that came about, in at least in my head. Two opportunities which came about. One clearly was organic traffic, which comes through SEO, and second was email marketing as well. I was dabbling around with both, and that's when I brought together Anurag and Kulraj in the team to start testing and sort of start learning more about how to build a product around SEO specifically. And while we were doing this, AI also happened. ChatGPT was launched, and then people started adopting to AI, started building around AI, etc. It's only in the last, say, about year or so, just about last 12 months, that brands are now looking at AI as a visibility channel, AI as a traffic source. It's the last 12 months. And now if you speak to any brand, they are like, the biggest problem statement for every brand is how do we feature on Chat GPT, and are we featuring on Chat GPT or not? Now this was one part of your question, which is when did we start building and how did we start building it. It went through multiple iterations. This is probably the version, so what you see right now is probably the version 4 of the product. We've gone through multiple iterations, multiple discussions. We've got almost every third day we have like a 3 a.m. call where we are discussing what is it that is to be done next, or what is it that is broken, so on and so forth. I think the bigger question which I heard in the question that you had asked was how important is the team and the people behind it. To me personally, I think globally businesses are all about people, on both sides, whether they're building or whether they're consuming. It's all about people. There's nothing else outside of that. Everything else is a transaction, right? Everything else is you give something as an input and you get something as an output. It could be money, it could be data, it could be anything else, it could be a product or anything, but it is eventually people who are doing things and people who are acting on those things. So you are building with people always, and you're building for people always. So I think for me the most critical piece has always been, who are the people behind whatever we are doing, how involved are they, how active are they, and how aligned are they to the larger vision of the product, and are we able to translate that to a consumer as well, whosoever is consuming our product, are we able to translate that to them or not. End of the day, it is just people. Even this content will go to some people, right? Regardless of what channel it is, what source it is, what medium it is. So I think the super critical, most important piece is people and nothing else.
Definitely, very, very correctly said.
Yes, thank you, sir, for sharing that. So these are staying on that thought. There is often this perspective around building from non-metro cities. The narrative of Bharat versus Metro India often comes with assumptions. Also, there is common belief that startups need metro cities to succeed. So, what is your thought about that?
I think like I said, it's about people more than anything else. People could be anywhere in the world, literally. Even our prime minister a few days back said work from home and so on and so forth. I think when you're working from home, uh, to me, it's a lot of comfort while you're at home, literally, and home could be anywhere. For me, home is let's say Delhi now. Anurag, it could be a different place. For Kulraj, it could be a different place. We've got people in our team who are not in the country as well, who are absolutely remote from a country which is not even developed, back in Africa. There are a few people based there as well who work with us. So I think the most important piece is capability and being able to deliver something or being able to bring in some value. More than that, location or where are you based does not really hinder. It's not a hindrance any longer, is what I'm trying to say. It can be an advantage in a lot of ways, but there's no negative side to it. So and that's what we've observed. That's what we are practicing as well.
I'd like to add on to it. Like, I don't think geography is an even advantage anymore. You can be sitting in Varanasi and you can be talking to or building for the people in New York. So as long as you are able to touch down to your customer, you're good to go, right? Like, geography has never been a big problem, though it do impacts maybe a little, but yeah, there's always a way around.
Yeah. So we've recently started some video content as well for ourselves. We are trying to sort of do demos, etc., using video. And one of our team members is based out of Udaipur. There's another team member who's based out of Siliguri. Now these are absolute, I think not even tier 2 but tier 3 in terms of definition, at least. Though beautiful places in terms of travel tourism, they are absolutely amazing. But in terms of business, you never think of say a Siliguri or an Udaipur as your main geography or main location. So I think it's all about talent. It's all about people. Now, nothing, location does not stop you from doing anything at all, literally.
Thank you for sharing that. Building on that, I would also like to understand from Mr. Anurag how this actually stands apart from traditional SEO tools. Like, how is Source approach to search different from traditional SEO tools?
Yes, absolutely. So traditional SEO tools used to answer one question very well, which was where do you rank on Google? So which was very good and perfect like a decade ago. But today, as we all know, everyone is on AI. There is a study which tells like 35% of the search interactions run through LLMs at some stage of the search. And many of those interactions are not as such, they don't have a rank list. Right. People might be searching on AI, they might be into Google AI overview or anywhere else. So then the question comes around, is your website being cited there? Right. And if you are not being cited there, you don't exist to those potential customers. And the scary part is there is no way of knowing that if you are being tracked, if you are being cited into a place like ChatGPT or Claude, right? That is a sort of gap that SEOs fill. We don't just track your rankings, we also track how your brand is being perceived or described by AI and also your competitors alongside. And why a specific query is bringing traffic from AI to you or your competitors. We sort of call this as agent intention mapping. Right. So alongside this is all about AI where we help brands around how to improve on AI, Google AI overviews, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, etc., etc. Alongside that, we also fill your traditional SEO gap where you need to do your traditional rank tracking or audits, etc. Because in reality, you need both of them. Google has not, even though the shift to AI is very good and real, but the Google isn't that, right? The brands that win are doing both at the same time. And SEOs is one of the only platform that treats them as a single interconnected system where we are connecting your data from Google AI overviews or Chat GPT towards your Google Search Console, where how are they being treated by various different platforms or various different search engines, right?
Absolutely. And taking that further, positioning also becomes very important. So, Mr. Kulraj, how are you positioning Source as a product driven company rather than just a service based one?
Okay, so that's a great question. A startup, in some way, starts by acting as a service-based company because you need constant feedback. You need to understand uh, the flow which you're trying to automate, or the user for which you're trying to build the product for. And we also started it as a service-based company only. Well, not exactly that, but the intent was to actually dive deep into the current workflow of our ideal user. Once you understand your user content, only then you can actually build a product which uh, fulfills his demand, or which actually brings value to that ideal user you're trying to target. So just to make sure that we are also moving in the right direction, we take appropriate amount of feedback from the user, but there are also some things that we take care of. We internally discuss what needs to be built, what should be built. It's not like we can solely rely on the perspective of a user alone. Every user has different demands. Every user has different perspective of what should be built. We can't be asking or talking to 10 users and make 10 a customized solution. That's again that will make us a service company only. So we have certain set of rules. We have some restrictions among our company itself, what needs to be built, what would define or what would make sure that this product is repeatable, this can be scaled, and those eventually come from years of feedback only. I don't think there's a playbook for that, but it has come after years of failing, pivoting. Yeah, there's no hardcore playbook for it. Every company has to define those rules for themselves. We have defined for ourselves. We know what to build, what feedback is required from the user, and what is not. So exactly, yeah. I think that answers your question. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
there's no playbook. Yeah.
Okay, and coming back to Sudhir, so building something like this beyond metros isn't always easy. So building a company beyond metros come with its own challenges like talent, perception, infrastructure. What are your toughest early challenges and how did you navigate them?
Okay, so that's a difficult question to answer because I think we've found more opportunities and more scope outside of metros and better talent. We've not had any challenges per se thinking beyond metros. It's actually been an advantage to us, both from a cost perspective, from an infrastructure perspective, from availability perspective, all of this. I think metros rather come with challenges than looking at non-metros or tier 2, tier 3 cities. There is immense amount of talent available in cities beyond the metros. All we need is to be able to reach out to them, and that's I think we've been successful with. And if the talent is available, rest everything. I think from an infrastructure perspective or any other perspective, we are fairly good. Rather than in places we are better as well in tier 2 cities. Including likes of high speed internet being available, etc. All of that is not a challenge at any longer. And while somebody is working out of their comfort, their homes, etc., it is always an advantage rather than a disadvantage. So I think for us, it's not been a challenge. Rather, it's been an opportunity which was available, and we explored it. Got pretty good results by just thinking beyond standard metros.
Yes, sir. Also, so like now as Source is expanding globally. As Source now looks at global market, what part of your Bharat rooted approach have actually become your biggest strength internationally?
I think one of the biggest factors that we've seen is cost is one thing, and second is being in a location which allows you to operate in multiple geographies as well. So, for example, if I have to service somebody in Australia, the time zone allows me to do that. It's just an early start of the day, and similarly, we are available for the Western world as well. The time zone allows us to do that, and the infrastructure is also allowing of that. So all we needed was to be able to scale the team slightly, to be able to operate in multiple geographies. And I think that factor of being in the larger Bharat, so to say, helped us with the costs, with the infrastructure costs or the people costs, etc. Maintaining that to a level which is not achievable while sitting anywhere in the world other than the Bharat that we are talking about. And the costs plus the quality of people plus the knowledge and talent levels, those are some things that are not available anywhere else but for the Bharat that we are talking about. So I think this has been an advantage clearly for us. I said earlier as well, there is tremendous amount of talent available in the country. We just need to reach out to the right set of people in the right set of places. That's all. So which we've been lucky enough so far.
Also, lastly, I would like to ask from both Mr. Anurag sir and Kulraj. Like, finally, looking ahead as a young builder from IIT BHU, how does you see the future of search and discovery evolving, and where does Source fit into that future?
Would you like to go first?
Please go ahead, Kulraj.
So, again, I believe for the last 2 decades, this search followed a fairly predictable flow. We knew what SEO is. Almost every company had mastered SEO. But again, this is something which won't stay forever. And we saw ChatGPT taking over the search market. It's still at its very nascent stage, but we are seeing that eventually every industry, every company, every brand will move away from SEO. It will try to optimize their current brands and or industries or website for LLMs also. And it's still very new even to us. We are still trying to get into the minds of LLMs. We are still trying to predict what could happen. It's not a very small UX improvement. It's a drastic shift. Like, it's completely changing the way brands were fighting a decade ago or 2 decades ago on Google's ranking. So even we are also witnessing the biggest shift since Google. I think that many businesses currently are underestimating how large the shift is, but we'll get to know, we'll figure it out what this change is going to eventually do to the search market, the AI market. Anything, Anurag, you would like to add? I mean, personally, my opinion is, again, we are at the very nascent phase. Is saying or predicting anything right now wouldn't be it will be just an arrow darkness. I don't have a
No,
strong
no.
opinion.
I think you pretty much summed all of it. Though, as we all know, we're moving towards the right direction. AI is the future, and everyone is going towards AI, and everyone knows how addictive AI is. We earlier we used to go to Google search to find anything, and now we are going to AI to make a search, ask it a question because of the conversational nature in the tone. So I think so. Raj almost summed it up. So it's a little early to predict, but AI landscape or the AI shift is very massive and huge and would be the future.
Yeah, again, we are like not even 1% in of what it is capable of achieving. I believe that still, I see people around me are yet to get their hands dirty with AI. Like this, they are still treating ChatGPT as another chatbot. We are yet to see like greater implications of AI. Like, yeah, that's my opinion.
Why over here, see, Anurag and Kulraj, my question comes over here that now what we are looking from source, maybe in after 1 or 2 years, maybe 1 year, if you say, what are the changes that we are seeing which is happening so fast? Because the changes are now, you see, every 3 months or every 2 months, like there's some updates are there. So, in that terms of your strategy in that part, how it is, and would be very, very much think what are the plans ahead for it?
Yes. So as we have seen in terms of Chat GPT or Claude or any AI engines, people love to talk towards to their data, right? Even in today's day, many of the times when we have some rough data or raw data to analyze, we just push it to Chat GPT, add it an Excel sheet to Claude or Chat GPT, and ask it to summarize or create a report or an Excel sheet or a presentation as such. So our plans moving ahead is similar, where we just introduce a lot of chat interfaces where the people are able to talk to their data directly rather than seeing raw data. Or although we have done a lot of steps moving towards that, but we are still a little far. But the current plans are that only, where we encourage or give as much as support to the user to talk to their data directly, because many of the people, many of the times, they don't know what to do with this raw data, or they might don't know the technical terms around that, right? So that is something we'll be able to we'll try to solve in the next upcoming few days or few months, as much if we say.
And any other updates that you guys have about Source that you want to share across? Any feature that you've added, would be happy to share it to the viewers.
So I think we launched in January. We are like back with another update. We'll be launching most probably this month on Product Hunt again, and I'll keep you guys posted with that.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll be launching again
Yeah.
this month.
So as Kulraj said, Content Studio would be our next biggest update, which is coming within, like, say, next week or so, or 4 or 5 days, where we have tried to empower the users or the content writers or anyone who wants to write content by a lot, where he or she can write better content and start ranking better. It could be a blog, it could be a product page, it could be a landing page on the website, everything into it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it was a quite a interesting discussions and to know more about Source and of course the future plans and how it has raised from Bharat and now reaching global in that term. So they've definitely the kind of also like for any startup, it is more important how fast you change, how adapted you are in terms of any changes that needs to be made. So I think we will be wishing you all the best for that, and definitely look forward to connect more for such interviews and such discussions, which are always helpful and knowledgeable. So I think that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, sir. We also enjoyed the interview a lot. The questions were great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.